My name is Elena. At that time, I was 19 years old. I lived in a small coastal town. The air was fresh with the smell of the sea. The houses were small and close together, people in the town knew each other, everyone said hello in the morning, everyone shared food and helped when there was trouble. My father was a fisherman. He went out early in his small boat. My mother cleaned fish and sold them in the market. I had two younger sisters. They were still in school and they played by the shore every day. Life was simple, but it was full of love. I had a dream. My dream was to be a nurse. I wanted to help people in the town when they were sick. I liked to see people smile again after they felt pain. I wanted to go to the city school to study nursing. My parents knew my dream. They told me I was clever. They said I was strong. They believed I could do it, but we did not have money for the city school. We could only pay for the small school in the town. Still, I wanted Tatri. I want to ask you something before I go on. If this story touches your heart, please subscribe, share it, and leave a comment where you are listening from. Your support means a lot to me. Now, let's continue. Point one evening, my parents called me into the room. Their faces were serious. My mother held my hand, her hand was cold. My father looked down at the floor. My heart felt heavy because I knew something was wrong. My mother said, Elena, a man wants to marry you. I did not understand. To marry me? I was only 19. I wanted to study more. I wanted to become a nurse. I said, no, I don't want this. My father finally looked at me. His eyes looked sad. We have no choice. He said, we are in debt. We need help. This man is rich. Hassan, help us. He can help your sisters. I felt tears on my face. I whispered, but I do not know him. My mother said, he is a good man. His name is Adrian. He lives in the capital city. He has a big job. He can give you a safe life. I wanted to scream. My life in the town was good. I had my family. I had my dream. But I saw the fear in my parents' faces. They were not doing this to hurt me, they wanted to keep us alive. I looked at my sisters. They were still young, they needed food and clothes. I closed my eyes and said, okay, I will do it. The wedding came fast. It was not in a church. It was at the town hall. I wore a white dress. My mother made it with care. It looked pretty, Booty did not feel pretty. I felt like I was not real. My friends came to watch, they smiled and said I looked happy, Booty was not happy. I smiled for them, but the smile was empty. I stood in front of the man I would marry, Adrian. He was tall. He had dark hair and serious eyes. He did not smile. He did not even look at me. I felt my hand shake. My voice was small when I said, I do. His voice was steady when he said the same. He put a ring on my hand. It was cold. And then it was finished. I was married. After the short wedding, there was a meal. I sat next to Adrian at the long table. He did not talk to me. He spoke to other people in short words. He was polite but not warm. I felt invisible. My parents tried to speak with him, both only gave small answers. I wanted to run away, but the time came for me to leave. I hugged my mother. She cried, be happy, my child. She whispered. I hugged my father. He held me tight. He will take care of you, he said. I hugged my sisters, they only wanted me to stay. I felt broken. I walked to the car with Adrian. It was black and big. I had never been in a car like that before. He sat far on the other side. He looked out the window. The car moved away from my town. I looked back. I saw the sea. I saw the small houses. I saw my family, they became smaller and smaller. Then they were gone. The car ride was long. We drove for hours, the sky turned dark. I wanted to ask him where we were going, but I stayed silent, his face was like a wall. I was afraid to speak. When we reached the city, I saw many lights. The buildings were tall. There were so many cars. It was loud and fast. I felt lost. The car stopped in front of a tall building. It was not a house. It was an apartment tower. A man at the door opened it for us. He said, welcome, Mr. Adrian, welcome, Mrs. Adrian. His voice was flat. Adrian walked in first. He did not wait for me. I followed behind. Inside, everything looked clean and cold. The floor was shiny. The walls were white. It felt empty. It did not feel like a home. A woman came. She was older. She wore a dark dress. Her name was Clara. She was the housekeeper. She said, "This way. Madam. I will show you your room. My room, not our room." She opened the door. The room was bigger than my whole house in the town. The bed was large and white. There was a wide window with no sea, only other buildings. Clara left me there. I sat on the bed. It was soft, but I felt no comfort. I was alone in a strange place with a strange man. I started to cry. I missed my family. I missed my dream. I felt I had lost everything. A soft knock came on the door. My heart jumped. Dryan walked in. He stood near the door. He looked at me but said nothing. His eyes were dark. I was shaking. I was afraid he would be angry because I cried, but he only spoke in a quiet voice. "You are tired," he said. "You should rest," that was all. Then he left and closed the door. I was alone again. I lay on the bed and cried until I fell asleep. When I woke up, the sun came through the big window. For a short moment, I forgot where he was. Then I remembered. I put on simple clothes from my bag and went down. The apartment was quiet. It felt empty. I found the kitchen. Clara was there. "Good morning, madam," she said. Her face was without a smile. "Good morning," I answered in a small voice. She said, "Mr. Adrian left for work at 6 o'clock. He will come back late." She put food on the table for me. I ate alone. The table was big. The food was good, but I could not taste it. I missed my mother's cooking. I missed sitting with me sisters. I missed the sound of the sea. The days started to pass like this. I woke up alone. I ate alone. I walked around the big apartment alone. Cedrian left before I opened my eyes. He came back late when I was already in my room. I sometimes heard his steps on the floor, but I did not see him. It was like he was a ghost in the same house. I had nice clothes. I had good food, but I was not happy. I was lonely. I felt like a bird in a cage. The cage was shiny, but I was not free. One evening, I walked into the kitchen. Clara was cooking rice. I watched her quietly. She looked at me and said, "Do you want to try?" Her voice was calm. I moved closer. I helped her wash vegetables. My hands were busy, and for a short time I did not feel so lonely. Clara was not warm, but she did not push me away. She let me stand beside her. It felt better than sitting alone. That night when I went to my room, it hot of my mother's food. I wished I could cook it here. Maybe Adrian would eat it. Maybe he would see me. The next morning, I asked Clara if I could use the kitchen. She looked surprised, but said yes. I wanted to make a simple fish soup, the kind my mother often made. Clara gave me the pot and the fish. My hands moved slowly. I remembered each step from home. When the soup was ready, I placed it on the table. Adrian was not home. I sat at the long table and ate alone. Later that night, I came down and saw the empty pot. Someone had eaten theirs. My heart moved fast. It had to be Adrian. He came late, but he had tasted my soup. The next day, I tried again. I made bread with Clara's help. She watched me in silence, but I saw her eyes. There was a little light in them. That night, the bread was also gone from the table. Adrian never spoke to me, but I knew he ate what I cooked. It was a small sign, a very small one, but it made me feel less invisible. One afternoon, I found the library. The room was full of books. The shelves were tall. I touched the covers. My fingers moved slowly over the words. Books made me feel safe. I opened one and started to read. The words took me to another place. For a short while, I forgot about my cage. I came back to the library the next day and the day after that. It became my secret place. Books were my only friends. One evening, I was in the library when the door opened. My heart jumped. Adrian walked in. He wore a dark suit. He looked tired. He stopped when he saw me. I froze. I wanted to leave, but my feet did not move. He looked at the book in my hand. His voice was low. Do you like reading? I nodded. Yes, I whispered. He walked to a shelf and pulled out a small book. He handed it to me. This one is good. It was a book of poems. I held it in my hands. Thank you, I said. He gave me a short look, then walked out. It was only a few words, but it was our first real talk. I felt a small light in the heavy dark. The next days passed the same way. He left early and came back late, but sometimes he stopped when he saw me. Once he asked, "Do you need anything?" I said, "No." He said nothing more. Booty felt seen. Another night, I left soup on the table again. In the morning, the bowl was empty. My food was reaching him even if me words could not. That gave me a little hope. 1 week later, I decided to go outside. The apartment had a garden. The plants were dying. Flowers hung low. The soil was dry. I thought of the small garden near my home. My mother loved her flowers. I wanted to touch the earth again. I asked Clara for tools. She gave me a small shovel. I went into the garden and started working. My hands were dirty, but I felt happy. I pulled weeds and watered the soil. It was hard work, but I wanted to bring life back to his empty place. One evening, I was still in the garden when the sun went down. I heard a step behind me. It turned. Adrian stood there. His face was calm. He looked at the flowers. His voice was soft. "The garden looks better," he said. I felt my cheeks warm. "Thank you," I whispered. "I like flowers." He stood still for a moment, then spoke again. "My mother loved this garden. After she passed away, no one cared for it." I looked at him. It was the first time he shared something about himself. His eyes were not cold. "I saw sadness. I am sorry," I said. He nodded. "You are bringing it back to life, thank you." For the first time, we stood together in silence that did not feel heavy. The air was calm. The sunset painted the sky. I did not feel so alone. After that day, Adrian started to come home a little earlier. Sometimes we ate together at the big table. At first, we did not talk much. The sound of our forks was the only sound, but slowly, words began to grow. I told him about my town by the sea. I told him about my sisters and how they played near the shore. I told him about my dream of being a nurse. His eyes stayed on me. He listened. He asked small questions. I felt he wanted to know me. It was a strange but warm feeling. One night, a storm came. The wind was strong. The rain hit the glass windows, thunder shook the walls. I was afraid. I in my town, I used to hide in my mother's arms during storms, but here I was, alone in the big room. I covered my head with the blanket. Then I heard a soft knock. The door opened. Adrian came in holding a candle. The light made his face gentle. "Are you all right?" he asked. I could not speak. I only nodded. He sat on the edge of the bed. He did not touch me. He said, "It's only a storm. It will pass." His voice was calm. He told me a short story about when he was a boy and feared the rain, too. His voice made me feel safe. He stayed until the storm grew quiet. I fell asleep while he was still there. When I woke in the morning, he was gone, but the fear was not as strong anymore. Something in the air felt different. He was no longer only a stranger. He was someone who could stay close when I needed it. The next evening, I was again in the library. He came in. He looked less tired. He asked me, "What book do you like most?" I showed him the poems he had given me. His lips moved a little, almost like a smile. He said, "Good choice." He sat in a chair on the other side of the room. He opened a book, too. We read in silence, but the silence was soft, not heavy. For the first time since my wedding, I felt peace. As the days passed, the house began to feel warmer. I placed flowers from the garden on the table. I cooked food that smelled like my home. Adrian noticed. Sometimes he said, "It is nice." Sometimes he only ate in silence, but he always finished the plate. On Friday he came home with a box. He placed it in front of me. "This is for you." I opened it. Inside were books about health and medicine. My eyes filled with tears. He remembered my dream. He said, "You can study here. You are smart. You can do it." His voice was steady, but I could see he meant it. I whispered, "Thank you. Tea's the best gift." That night, I started reading the books. My heart felt alive again. Little by little, Adrian and I spoke more. We laughed once when he told me about a mistake at work. His laugh was deep. It made his serious face look different. I felt warm inside. I wanted to hear it again. Each day, the distance between us became smaller. I did not feel like a ghost anymore. I was still afraid of the future, but now I also had a small light of hope. The days kept moving. Life in the apartment was not the same anymore. Adrian came home earlier. He sometimes sat with me in the living room. We read books together. We shared the same space and the silence felt safe. The house did not feel so empty. I started to smile more. One evening, he walked into the kitchen while I was cooking. I was making fish soup again. The smell filled the air. He stood by the table and watched me. "It smells good," he said. I looked up in surprise. "It is from my town," I told him. "My mother used to make it." He nodded slowly. "I remember my mother's food, too. She cooked with love." His voice was soft. I could hear the memory in it. That night we ate together. For the first time he told me about his work, his father, and the pressure he felt. I listened to him the way he had listened to me. I felt closer to him. One Saturday, Adrian asked me, "Do you want to go outside?" My heart jumped. I had not been out with him before. We walked together in a small park near the apartment. The air was cool, children played on the grass. Families laughed. I felt alive again. Adrian pointed at the flowers. "You like these, don't you?" I smiled yes, very much. We walked side by side, not talking much, but the silence was kind. One night I was sitting in the living room. The fire burned in the fireplace. I was reading one of the books he gave me. Adrian came in and sat next to me. He had a book in his hand, too. For a long time, we read quietly. Then I felt a strong wish to be closer. I put my book down. I moved nearer to him on the sofa. My heart was fast. I put my head on his shoulder. At first, he looked surprised, then he put his arm around me. I felt safe. I smiled for real. It was not an empty smile. It was full of peace. He whispered. "Elena." My name sounded beautiful from his lips. I whispered back. "Adrian." He looked into my eyes. For a moment, we only looked, then he kissed me. It was not cold. It was gentle and warm. I closed my eyes and let the moment stay. It was the kiss of my husband. Not a stranger. From that night, things were different. We ate together every evening. We spoke more. We laughed more. I told him about my sisters again and again. He listened with care. He told me about his dreams for the future. I told him about my dream of nursing. He said he would help me study. He said I could do it. His words gave me strength. The apartment started to feel like a home. I placed flowers in the rooms. I cooked food that made me think of my town. I played soft music sometimes. Adrian did not stop me. He looked pleased. One evening, he even asked me to play more. The cold walls of the house felt warmer. The heavy silence was gone. One night as we sat by the fire, Adrian held my hand. "Elena," he said, "I was not kind at first. I did not know how to speak to you. It thought you would not understand me. But now I see you are strong. You are kind. I am glad you are here." His words filled him with light. I squeezed his hand. "I was scared of you," I said. "I thought me life was over, but now I am glad too." We smiled at each other. I looked back in the day of the wedding. I thought my life ended there. I thought I lost everything, but I was wrong. A new life started that day. It was not easy. It was full of fear and tears, but it slowly turned into something else. It turned into care. It turned into love. I learned something important. Life can look dark, but it can still bring light later. Love can grow in place you never expect. My parents had said Adrian was a good man. Now I knew it myself. He was my husband. He was my friend. He was the man I loved. Thank you for listening to my story. If you liked it, please subscribe to the channel. Share this story with your friends so they can listen, too. And write a comment to tell me what you felt. Your support helps me bring more stories for